Hi there, this is Tata with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing the Wrestling Time Push Show. And for tonight, I will be reviewing both AEW Rampage and Friday Night Smackdown, both go-home shows for their respective pay-per-views this weekend. But let's kick things off with AEW Rampage. Alright, so AEW Rampage kicked off with an incredible AEW Trios Tag Team Tournament semi-final match. It was Dark Order and Hangman Adam Page versus Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. So, before this match even started, Danhausen somehow entered the ring and he cursed Hangman. But then he got ejected, which I thought was hilarious. And then another thing that I thought was so hilarious in this match was like Orange Cassidy jumped on Hangman and he was like doing the whole cowboy thing, which I thought was hilarious. Like, Orange Cassidy, honestly, like, he's hilarious. And one of the things I also liked about this was the fact that Chuck and Trent hung in the middle of the ring, and then John Silver and Alex Reynolds tried to hug, but Trent and Chuck stopped them. So this match was really good. I actually really enjoyed this match, and there was another spot that I liked where like it looked like Orange Cassidy was gonna attack Hangman, and John Silver or Johnny Hungee shoves Hangman out of the way to try to take the hit for Hangman. But nothing happens. Michael 101591 saying, obviously Dark Order was going to win this match. Yeah, it became obvious, especially when Hangman joined them as their partner. And then Hangman and the Dark Order end up winning this. It was a good match, but it was originally supposed to be Preston 10 Vance, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds, but then Preston 10 Vance got injured and Evil Uno got taken out by Andrade. So Hangman had to step up and be a tag team partner for this. And it's weird because Hangman said he was going to be in their corner, but when they had their first match, he wasn't even in their corner. Or at least I didn't see him in their corner. But good way. So now things become interesting because now at All Out, we have the Dark Order and Hangman Adam Page versus the Elite for the Trios tag titles. Who do you guys think are going to win those inaugural tag titles? So before I can, there's going to be more. Actually, I'll just talk about it. So, like, at some point down the road, like backstage, Hangman gets approached by Don Callis, who tells him he pretty much turned on his friends after the Bucks offered him a chance to join them. And he said he's screwing over your friends over power and money. That's not you. So it begs the question, like, is Hangman gonna screw the Dark Order and align himself with the Elite? Or is he going to stay with the Dark Order and try to help them win this? I mean, now that Bobby Fish is out of AEW, we can't do the Undisputed Elite versus the Elite. I'm pretty sure that was the original plan, to have the Undisputed Elite and the Elite in the finals of this match, because that would have been the huge match. That would have been the big match. So I'm very curious to see what... It's weird seeing Page team up with the Dark Order. It kind of is, but what do you guys think? Do you guys think like Hangman's gonna like stick with them after what Don Callis told him, or you think he's gonna screw them over and like align himself with the Elite again? You just have to wait and see. So you get an incredible match between Rey Fénix and Blake Christian. Wow, this was a quick match. I have to say, like, it was an incredible match, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing a longer match between Blake Christian and Rey Fénix. Rey Fénix being victorious, meaning he's got momentum going into the Casino Ladder match. All right, so we get a quick hook segment, and he's approached by Angelo Parker and Matt Menard, basically saying they've been asking for weeks, what if? Basically saying, what if a sports entertainer wins the FTW title? And he rips off his shirt and tells Menard that there's a time and a place for everything. So actually, Menard tells Hook that. So nothing really happened there, except that Hook took off his shirt. We got a mixed tag team title match. It's actually a rematch from last week. It's Ty Melo and Sammy Guevara versus Ruby Soho and Ortiz. Last week, we had this exact same match. The only difference is the outcome is different. So I'm not going to lie to you. I actually kind of enjoyed this match a little bit. I actually liked it a lot better than I did last week's. And it's interesting because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time we've ever gotten a rematch back to back. Like, I know normally sometimes we wait for the rematch, but I think it's the first time we've gotten the match back to back. So Ruby Soho and Ortiz win, and Ruby holds up the AAA mixed tag titles, and she points at them. And it's been official. The match is going to happen. Sammy Guevara and Ty Melo versus Ruby Soho and Ortiz for the AAA mixed tag team titles. 20K already with the 50-50 booking in this match, but Ruby and Ortiz needed that win. Yeah, they did. And I hope they win at All Out. We have to wait and see, though. I kind of like the teases of the intergender. I know they don't do intergender wrestling, but I really like the little teases with Ruby and Sammy, and then Ty and Ortiz. I really like those teases. I really do. I think it's makes things interesting. So we get a very interesting segment with Jade Cargill and Athena. Actually, I really liked the segment. It was super intense. So basically, Jade Cargill's dismissing Athena, saying that this competition has dragged out way too long. And Athena fires back, saying that Jade is genuinely afraid that she's going to lose. And they're calling Athena number 37 because Jade is 36-0 right now. So if she beats Athena, so Athena's technically her 37th opponent. And Athena says a very passionate, that we eat this, we breathe this, and she's going to beat her, and she's going to make it for everybody who had to deal with Miss That Bitch. So very passionate promo by Athena, and I actually cannot wait for their match at All Out. I think this is going to be Jade's longest match to date. I think the last long match she had was against Marina Shafir, but I think this match might even be longer. And I think Athena could be the one to dethrone Jade. What do you guys think? Let me know in the live chat, or if you're watching the replay, in the comment section. But I honestly think Athena can be the one to do it. If not Athena, maybe Kris Statlander. But who knows when Kris Statlander is going to come back. Athena is beating Cargill. Her undefeated streak will be coming to an end on Sunday. Yeah, I'd be really cool. I can see that happening. Give me 1 second, you guys. I do apologize. My dog wanted to come in. All right. So, like I said, very passionate promo. I really like that. And I cannot wait. They sold me their match. Marina Shafir, you just made me almost pass out to sleep by mentioning her name. Oh, sorry. We get a very quick backstage segment with Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaim. Basically, Swerve Strickland telling the Acclaim that rocks beat scissors. So, good, interesting promo. All right, so this is the promo. This is what I wanted to talk about. FTR and Wardlow. They come out. And Dax is basically talking about how for the better part of the decade, they come out and say that they're tough guys. He felt worthless and at the bottom of the barrel, like nobody ever loved him. And then 22 happened. He said, not everyone's going to love FTR. And the journalists talk about what's the point of this match. So, when it was Jay Lito, Sanjay Dan, and Sultan Singh versus FTR and Wardlow, I kind of did feel like it was a pointless. It wasn't. How can I say this? It wasn't a pay-per-view quality match. You could have had that match on a random episode of Dynamite, and especially because neither the Ring of Honor or the AAA tag titles are going to get defended. And I thought that the match we were supposed to get were going to be the Young Bucks versus FTR, but I guess that's not happening. So I get what he was saying. That's how everybody felt. Like, that match could have just happened on a random episode of Dynamite. And as he continues to talk, he says there's 3 things you don't mess with in life. But before he can even continue, he gets interrupted. Of course, the Motor City Machine Guns come out. Oh my God. Huge fan of the Motor City Machine Guns. They are phenomenal in Impact Wrestling. Right now, they're currently involved in a storyline with Kushida. And they're known as Time Machine. So, if you haven't checked them out, I highly suggest you do. So they basically, Sabin says that they are the tag team that define this entire generation and the greatest city of all, Detroit. How does it go like that? I think I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing this Motor City handshake wrong. He says that Shelley goes on to say that they are the greatest tag team walking on this planet, but FTR's bank is probably deeper than theirs. He says that when the Motor City Machine Guns walk into the locker room, they influence and respect. And that group, the four of them, he said that number looks familiar. They've been together for 20 years. So I have no problem with this match. I think at some point I'm hoping we get FTR versus Motor City Machine Guns in tag team action by themselves. But my issue with this, I feel like it kind of just came out of left field. Like, you literally made this match, 2 weeks before the pay-per-view? Just imagine how incredible this feud would have been if you would have announced this from the get-go. Like, you could have had an instance where, like, FTR and Wardlow, they're beating up on Lito, Sanjay Dan, and then, you know, and then the Motor City Machine Guns come out to help them. This feud could have been amazing if given a chance to be built. And it kind of just came out of left. You know, it's going to be a good match. I know it is. You know, you could have had FTR show up on Impact and take out the Motor City Machine Guns. But I don't know. But hopefully, if we ever do get the Motor City Machine Guns versus FTR, it's going to be a phenomenal build and an even phenomenal match. But I'm really excited for that, honestly. I really am. We're going to get a hint and a taste of FTR versus Motor City Machine Guns. So our main event ends up being QT Marshall and Ricky Starks. But as you guys know, before the main event, we always get a promo. So QT Marshall says that there's no factory behind him. His word is his bond, and he gave Powerhouse Hobbs his word. Ricky Starks locks a factory in the locker room, and then QT Marshall grabs Starks and drags him to the ring, and chaos ensues. I mean, Ricky Starks sends QT flying over the barricade, and then finally, when they get in the ring, the match finally starts. So at some point in the match, the factory freed themselves and they came to aid QT. QT put his feet on the rope, but was caught by the ref. And Ricky Starks wins this match after the spear and the bone shaw bone to QT Marshall. So he's got momentum. He's definitely got momentum going into All Out. And of course, Powerhouse Hobbs comes out. Then they go at it. The ref separates them, and it's just chaos. Bryan Danielson comes out and stirs down Chris Jericho. And that is how AEW Rampage ends. So this is a go-home show to All Out. And I've always said the purpose of a go-home show is to sell you the pay-per-view so that you can be excited. And I honestly am excited to 7 out of 10 for Rampage. I am now excited for All Out. I think it took a while for me to get excited because, like, the build to this pay-per-view has been kind of lackluster. It's not really an AEW style build, but I guess they got played with so many injuries that they had to wait a while to announce the card. But overall, decent show. So I have to agree with Michael 101591, and I have to give it a 7 out of 10. So that concludes the Rampage review. Now let's move on to everyone's favorite Friday night show of the evening, Friday Night Smackdown. Friday Night Smackdown, mind you, this episode of Friday Night Smackdown was taped. They taped it last week because they're currently in Cardiff for Clash of Castle tomorrow. Didn't even watch everyone's favorite show tonight. Oh, really? You did it? You actually missed it. I thought this show was pretty great. So I hope you stay tuned, Michael, so you can me with my review. So this show kicked off with the Viking rules match. It was the Viking Raiders versus the New Day. There were no rules and falls counted anywhere. So they turned the ring into like a ship. They had the whole Viking ship, and they had Viking shields all around. Even it was pretty an interesting setup, I have to say. And this match was actually working, and it was a tape show. Yeah, it was still a good show though. I had to say this match was not bad. I actually enjoyed the match. I think the funniest spot in this match was when Kofi Kingston was pulling stuff out from under the ring, and one of the things he pulled out was how do you say it? Mjolnir? Thor's hammer, I mean. He pulls out Thor's hammer and he smashes Eric on the head with it. That was so hilarious. I know I totally butchered that. So how do you properly say Thor's hammer's name? Mjolnir? I can't say it. So that was hilarious, though. That was freaking hilarious. Oh, and then let me see. I saw a pic of how the ring looked for that match. Very original design, but Viking Raiders and New Day feud needs to end. Yeah, it does. They've been feuding for a while, haven't they? So this match, like the New Day obviously worked really well together, and the Viking Raiders worked well together. The Viking Raiders putting Xavier Woods through 2 tables with the Ragnarok. And the Viking Raiders end up being victorious in this contest. So good for them. I think this is the strongest they've ever looked. They really look like dominant out there. I mean, they won this match. So I don't know where we go from here, but very good showing by the Viking Raiders. We get a Sami Zayn segment. He's organizing for Roman's party. Sammy's just gold. He had like a red suit on, and he says if this tribal print, but Jay obviously says not. They want to try and beat the New Day versus the Brawling Brutes. We don't talk about the New Day versus Brawling Brutes. And Sami Zayn just got like pictures of Roman Reigns' best moments. He had him blown up, and then Jay questioned Sami why he didn't help him against KO. So somewhere down the road, Sammy receives black roses with a note that says TikTok. Obviously, those being from Karrion Kross. We get a quick Shayna Baszler segment. She's basically saying she's gonna beat SmackDown Women's Champion. She's gonna make Liv suffer and tear her apart limb from limb until Liv is crying. No offense to Liv, I like Liv Morgan, but I don't think she's like a credible champion. I mean, like, I honestly think Shayna Baszler could beat her. I really do. So next we had the in-ring. Hold on, this is gonna be appropriate for this. Look at the neutralizer right there. Just look at that neutralizer, okay? Look at that. We had the in-ring debut of Karrion Kross. You hear that? In-ring debut. But before we go any further, make sure you look at this, okay? This is important. You heard that correctly. In-ring debut. New Day and Viking Raiders equals New Day versus Brawling Brutes 2.0. Shayna is beating Liv tomorrow. I think she is too. So they're completely like wiping Karrion Kross's main roster debut away. And he was going up against Drew Gulak, and he just beat the tar out of Drew Gulak. I mean, Gulak hit him with the chest chop, but like it just didn't seem him. And he had the whole presentation. Like he had Scarlet, he had the hourglass, he had everything. This is how Karrion Kross should have been presented on the main roster from the get-go. Why he was ever given that shredder-looking costume is beyond me. But the whole point of this is to reestablish him, and he looked pretty strong in the match. But again, that's the point. That was the whole point of this match, to look strong. Now, throughout the night, there were like 4 different video packages about Roman Reigns. They were all narrated by Paul Heyman. They did a good job of like recapping Roman's title run and dominance. So we get a Ronda Rousey segment. She basically comes to the ring with a letter from WWE management, and she wants Adam Pearce to read it. And he tells her it was nothing personal, but she counters back saying that she feels it was personal since he got her arrested. So basically the letter says that her suspension is over and will resume in-ring competition because her behavior hasn't been criminal, but she is to remain on probation. And Adam Pearce says that this letter is absurd, and he would have fired her instead of suspending her. And then Ronda tells Adam Pearce to kiss my ass. Karrion Kross just needs the Ninja Turtles out there, and we would have gotten a dance off between Ninja Rap from Vanilla Ice. And so after like Ronda tells Adam Pearce to kiss my ass, like he just goes off. Like he starts cutting a promo. He starts talking about how he wishes people from the office would do this job. He says nobody thanks him, and that nobody asks him how his kids are or how his day is doing. And he's just going off and off and off and off. And he says that Ronda rocks around like she owns the place and calls her. He says that people say that she's the baddest woman on this planet, but she's really the single biggest bitch he's ever met. And Ronda does not like this, and she attacks him, puts him in the armbar. But honestly, I really like this angle. Like, damn, Adam Pearce going off, Ronda Rousey being the badass that she should have always been. Like, dang, this was a really, really good angle. And then we get Hit Row versus Maximum Male Models. The only thing you're missing from this segment was the Maximum Male Models to come out to Right Set Fred's "I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my car." You know? I mean, they already came out shirtless. That's all they were missing. So, but honestly, this match really didn't do it for me. It was like probably the weakest match on this entire card. Didn't do it for me. At the end, you know, Los Lotarios come out, they attack Heroes, Street Profits come out, brawl break. So I think that was the only most interesting part of this whole segment was the brawl at the end. But I wasn't digging this segment or match. So we're backstage. We get a segment with Happy Corbin saying he doesn't want to talk about anything. He doesn't want to live in the past. He's happy right now, and he's doing an open challenge. So this leads into a Happy Corbin's open challenge. It ends up being Happy Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and Shinsuke beat Happy Corbin. If you guys recall, Nakamura was the reason why we got broke Corbin in the first place, and it goes backstage, and there's like a white limo with horns, which can only mean is JBL. So JBL like opens the door to his limo, and like he gets in there. So very intrigued to see where this is gonna go. JBL and Happy Corbin, huh? Very intrigued, honestly. I mean, is JBL gonna come back to manage Happy Corbin? Is he just gonna give him advice? I wonder. Thank God I didn't suffer to watch. Thank God I didn't suffer to watch Hit Row versus Maximum. Yeah, that was definitely the weakest match on this card. So then we had Butch versus Ludvig Kaiser, but Butch didn't look like Butch. Butch came out and he had the hat and the little cardigan. Lone Wolf Corbin needs to come back. He had the hat and the coat thing. He took that off. And for one night, it looked like Butch was no more and Pete Dunne was back. Mind you, we probably are going to get Pete Dunne back, but baby steps. And his match against Ludvig Kaiser, that didn't look like Ludvig Kaiser. That looked like Marcel Bartzel. I mean, this match was freaking intense. I actually really liked this match. It was amazing. Like, that was not Butch wrestling out there. I will say that. That was Pete Dunne. That was freaking Pete Dunne. You need to see this match. So I feel like now that he's like that, he will probably go back to being Pete Dunne. But I did not see 1 ounce of Butch in this match. It was all Pete Dunne. I didn't see an ounce of Ludvig Kaiser. It was all Marcel Bartzel in this match. So get Pete Dunne's name back fast. Who the hell is Butch? The only Butch I know of is Butch from Team Rocket. Well, the other Team Rocket from Pokemon. Cassidy and Butch. And so then, that technically was the main event when you stop to think about it. The closing segment was Roman Reigns' 2-year championship celebration. But of course, you guys know this is wrestling. This is WWE. Weddings, celebrations, and contract signings never end well. So the Usos and Sami Zayn come out, and there's banter between Jay and Sammy. Like, Jay accused of Sammy of stepping over boundaries because like he's and he says that Sami Zayn says that to Jay, and Jay kind of like takes the microphone, and he's the one who introduces Roman. And then Roman pulls up in the car, and Drew McIntyre hits him with the Claymore. Then McIntyre comes out, takes out Sami Zayn and the Usos. He puts Jimmy through a table. Jay gets driven through the barricade. And that's pretty much how SmackDown ends. Or he cuts a promo at the end saying that he's basically gonna, become champion and stuff. But I actually cannot wait for Clash of Castle. I really cannot. I'm pretty excited for Clash of Castle. Now, I did notice that SmackDown did not have a single women's match on there, the show. They had segments, but just not a single women's match. I have to give it at least Rampage. While it might have been a mixed tag match, we had a match between Ruby Soho and Ty Melo. So, I gotta give Rampage that. I like both SmackDown and Rampage, and I can't decide what the better show was. But let me just double check everything. You know what? That Hit Row versus Maximum Male Models kind of brought the quality of this SmackDown down, but I really love that Ronda Rousey segment with Adam Pearce. I really like Butch versus Ludvig Kaiser, and so and Sami Zayn was just gold. And that opening match, Viking Rules match, SmackDown sounded like a decent show. It was a decent show, honestly. But the fact that we didn't have any women's matches, and the fact that that Hero kind of dragged it down a little bit, I have to give this also a. If it wasn't for Hit Row, I probably would have given it a 7.5. But because of that Hit Row thing, I'm gonna give this a 7. A 7 out of 10. So I guess they're tied. Rampage and SmackDown tonight. You know, but if you take the Hit Row out of this and you add at least one women's match, it easily would have been an 8. But with that being said, that concludes this review, you guys. I know it's already been a week, but I did go to Power Morphicon this past weekend. I did put a lot of videos up. I put the Power Rangers, Dino, Cosmic Fury cast reveal. I did put up highlights in Power Morphicon. So if you haven't seen that, please do. You guys have made my Power Rangers videos some of my most watched videos of all time, especially my Cosmic Fury video, which is sitting at, I believe, at 14,000 views. Clash at Castle is shaping up to be a good show tomorrow, and crowd better be hot. Definitely do agree. And so thank you guys all so much for the support, for the continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow after Clash at Castle. Have a great night.